In 2022, 10 African countries, including Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, received almost half of the official development assistance to the continent. Kenya and Tanzania are among Africa's largest recipients of aid money from rich countries and international organizations, reflecting their reliance on donor funds to finance government expenses. Is that not out of this world, that a country that is immensely rich is now depending from money assistance from rich countries and international organizations for them to be able to finance their government expenses? Then they are surprised that the leaders of these rich countries or the people that control these international organizations are now manipulating their economy to their own benefit and are now ordering them around, bullying them around. They shouldn't be surprised. You can't expect people to use their taxpayers' money, their hard-earned money, to finance your government, and you don't want them to dictate your government to their own benefit. Then you must be joking. Then if you don't want them to order you around, then you go and devise other means of generating your own money so you have control over your government and you have control over your own people. Because it surprises me that most of these African leaders, they depend heavily on these rich, so-called rich countries that are not giving this money for free, even though they call it donations. They are not donations. They are indirect bribe. And the leaders in these African countries, that their countries have what it takes for them not to depend on these so-called rich donors who are looting Africa. These so-called international organizations who are looting African riches. Yes, and on top of it, they have what it takes for them to be independent. They're economically independent, financially independent, but they solely depend on these people. And in which the so-called aid they are getting, which is not aid, this is indirect bribe, they will still loot it out of their various countries. Because at the end of the day, all these monies they are getting from all these so-called rich countries or so-called international organizations have not managed to remove Africa or these countries out of their debts. Rather, as day approaches or each day that comes by, the debts of these countries are skyrocketing. Their debts are even going higher than it is. In 2022, 10 African countries, including Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, and Democratic Republic of Congo, received almost half of the official development assistance to the continent, a new report by the Mo Ibrahim Foundation shows. The countries received between $2 billion and $8 billion in official development assistance from rich countries to finance their local government budgets. So you expect people to give you money to fund your local government projects, and you think that they will be giving it to you for free, then you must be joking. To finance their local government budgets, a reflection of heavy reliance on grants, even as donations begin to dwindle, with changing priorities for the donors. Between 2013 and 2022, Africa received the largest amount of ODA of any world region in every order than 2018. However, the total ODA received by Africa fell from 86.4 billion in 2020 to 81.4 billion in 2022. So between 2020 and 2022, the aid that Africa is getting, the so-called aid or donor, which are not, we know it. The people that know. But it's just that some of our leaders, they are so stupid, they are so selfish, they are so wicked, they are so myopic that the world is advancing, the world is evolving, they don't want Africa to evolve. So if they receive the total aid of 86.4 billion in 2020, and in 2022, it fell by almost 4-point-something billion. What have they managed to achieve with this so-called money they are getting? So according to the report, in 2022, Africa in general received 81.4 billion, says the report published this week. Other than the 4 countries in the region, Egypt, Ethiopia, Nigeria, Mozambique, Morocco, and Niger are also among the top recipients of the assistance funds, with the total ODA received in 2022 by the 10 countries amounting to 37.8 billion or 46.4% of all aid money coming to the continent. In the region, DRC received 3.4 billion in ODA, Kenya 3.3 billion, Tanzania 3 billion, and Uganda 2.4 billion. The amount is close to just about the same money the countries seek to raise from additional taxes this year. Amidst renewal fiscal consolidation measures aimed at taming soaring debts. Curiously, these are also some of the richest countries on the continent. You see, these countries has what it takes to be financially independent, to be economically independent. But it's just because we have selfish leaders in this country, wicked leaders, demonic leaders who don't care about their people. Indeed, ODA is a crucial source of finance for all African countries, but most of it comes with conditions. So you see, most of these so-called donations or aid come with conditions. So at the end of the day, any help that you're giving that comes with conditions to your own benefit is no longer a genuine aid, is no longer a genuine donation. There is always a motive under it. But most of it comes with conditions that have to be met and at times leads to unpopular decisions by governments. So these unpopular decisions by governments is now where the government now work for the people that are giving them the so-called donations or aid. They are now working, they are now leaving their people aside, putting the interests of these so-called rich countries, the interests of these so-called international organizations first, at the detriment of their economy, at the detriment of their local currency, at the detriment of their own people. And last, even with all these aids, it has not managed to get Africa countries or Africa as a continent out of its debts.